Hello and welcome to English Listening and Speaking Practice. I'm your host, Tommy, and I am so happy that you are here today. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most powerful skills you can ever learn. It's a skill that can lead you to a better life. It's the skill of thinking differently. I know that might sound like a simple idea, but it is truly life-changing. The way you think affects everything. It affects how you talk to yourself, how you treat others, how you face challenges, and how you feel every single day. In this episode, I am going to give you simple, clear, and helpful tools to help you reshape your thinking and, by doing that, reshape your life. And I want to start with a very important message: your brain is not fixed. It's not stuck in one way of thinking forever. Your brain can learn, it can grow, and that means you can grow, not just in English, but in your habits, your decisions, your emotions, and your dreams. So, if you are ready to learn how to train your brain for a happier and more successful life, let's begin this journey together. So, what does it actually mean to think differently? Thinking differently means changing the usual way you think. It means not always following the same thoughts or ideas you have believed for a long time. It's about looking at things with a fresh perspective, asking new questions, and being open to learning and changing. One of the best ways to understand this is by looking at two different mindsets: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A person with a fixed mindset believes that their abilities are set in stone. They think they are born with a certain amount of intelligence or talent, and it cannot be changed. They might say things like, "I'm just not smart," or "that's just how I am." When they face a challenge, they often give up easily because they are afraid of failing and proving that they are not good enough. On the other hand, a person with a growth mindset believes that they can improve their abilities through time, effort, and learning. They see mistakes not as failures, but as lessons. They see effort not as a waste of time, but as progress. When they face a challenge, they keep trying, even when it's difficult. Thinking differently often means moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Let's look at some daily examples. Imagine you make a mistake at work. With old thinking, you might say, "I'm not good enough." But with different thinking, you could say, "This mistake helps me learn," or "Next time, I'll do better." Think about learning English. Old thinking might say, "I can never speak fluently." Different thinking says, "I'm not perfect, but I can improve if I practice every day." When you have a chance to try something new, old thinking might say, "No, I don't know how to do that." Different thinking says, "I've never tried this before, but maybe it's good for me." Even the way you start your day can change. Old thinking might be, "Oh no, another busy day." Different thinking could be, "Today is a new chance to learn and grow." It's important to understand that thinking differently doesn't mean you ignore problems or pretend to be happy all the time. It means choosing better ways to think. It means taking control of your thoughts instead of letting your old habits control you. So, why is it sometimes so hard to change our thinking? Why does our brain often think in the same way, over and over again? Our brain is an amazing tool. And just like any good tool, it loves to be efficient. It loves habits and routines. It finds comfort in patterns. This is why we develop mental habits. A mental habit is a thought pattern that you have repeated so many times that it becomes automatic. Think about walking in a grassy field. The first time you walk, it's difficult. But if you walk the same path every day, soon a clear path is formed. It becomes easy to walk that path. Your thoughts work in the same way. The brain learns from repetition. If you have a thought often, your brain builds a strong neural pathway for it. It becomes a mental habit. This efficiency is great for simple things, like brushing your teeth. But it can be a problem if your mental habits are negative or unhelpful. For example, if you have always worried about speaking in public, your brain develops a speaking in front of people is scary habit. So, every time you have to speak, that automatic thought pops up. Your brain prefers to stick with what it knows. But here is the good news. Once we understand that these are just mental habits, we can start to change them. It requires two things: awareness and daily practice. The first step is to simply notice your thoughts. What are the thoughts that come up again and again? Once you notice them, you can pause and choose a new thought. You can start building a new path. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds good, but can my brain really change? The answer from science is a definite yes. Your brain has an amazing ability called neuroplasticity. This means that your brain can change the way it works based on how you think, what you do, and what you learn. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you go to the gym and lift weights, your muscles get stronger. If you sit on the sofa all day, your muscles get weaker. Your brain is the same. If you practice new thoughts, if you try new things, and if you challenge yourself, your brain becomes stronger. It builds new connections. We can think of our thoughts as paths in a forest. The thoughts you use often become wide, clear highways. The thoughts you don't use become small, overgrown paths that are hard to find. This means you have the power to build better thoughts. Every time you consciously choose a positive or helpful thought, you are working on building a new, strong path in your brain. For example, if you tell yourself every day, "I'm learning to speak English," you are building that positive neural pathway. Your brain listens to your thoughts. It watches your actions. It remembers what you do often, and then it makes those things easier for you. And this is possible at any age. It's a myth that you can't change when you get older. Science has shown that people can learn new things, change bad habits, and build new thinking patterns even in their 40s, 50s, 60s, or older. Your brain is always ready to learn. If our brains can change, why do so many people stay stuck in their old ways of thinking? It's usually because of certain habits and fears that are very common and very human. One of the biggest barriers is the fear of failure. Nobody likes to fail. We worry that if we try something new and make a mistake, we will look stupid. We worry that we are not good enough. And so, to avoid the feeling of failure, we avoid trying new things altogether. But here is a different way to think about it: failure is not the enemy. Failure is part of learning. Every expert in every field has failed many, many times. Failure is a step forward, not a step back. Another barrier is listening to negative people. The words of others can be very powerful. If people around you are always negative, it can be hard to think positively. Their doubts can become your doubts. The advice here is to learn to listen to your own voice more than the noise around you. Just because someone says something doesn't mean it's true. Choose to surround yourself with supportive and positive people. And the third big barrier is staying in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is that familiar place where everything feels safe and easy. But there is a problem with the comfort zone: nothing grows there. Growth requires courage. It requires stepping out of what feels easy and trying something new, something that might be a little scary. These habits, fear of failure, listening to negative people, and staying in your comfort zone, are common. But they are not permanent. You can retrain your brain. You can start asking, "What if I succeed?" instead of "What if I fail?" You can choose to listen to positive voices. And you can take one small step outside your comfort zone every day. Small changes in your thoughts can lead to big changes in your life. So, how do we actually do it? How do we train our brain to think differently? It doesn't require anything special. It just requires small, daily actions that help your brain form new and better thinking habits. Here are some practical tips you can start using today. Tip number 1, ask better questions. Your brain is like a search engine. It will try to answer whatever question you ask it. If you ask a negative question like, "Why is my life so hard?" your brain will search for all the reasons why your life is hard. But what if you ask a better question? Instead of "Why is this so hard?" you could ask, "What can I learn from this?" Or "How can I grow from this problem?" These questions shift your focus from the problem to the solution. Better questions lead to better thoughts. Tip number 2, write down your thoughts. Writing is a powerful tool. When you write down your thoughts, you can see them more clearly. You can look at them with fresh eyes. Try keeping a small notebook. Every day, write down one good thought you had, or one thing you learned. This simple habit trains your brain to focus on progress instead of perfection. Tip number 3, change one word. Sometimes, changing just one small word can change your entire mindset. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," add the word "yet." I can't do this yet. This one word opens up the possibility of future success. Instead of "This is too hard," try "This is a challenge, and I am learning." Tip number 4, be curious. Curiosity is the engine of growth. When you are curious, new experiences feel like opportunities, not problems. Instead of feeling fear about something new, try to feel excitement. Ask questions. Be open to learning. A curious brain is a growing brain. Tip number 5, surround yourself with positive input. Your brain is shaped by your environment. If you feed it negative news and complaints all day, it will produce negative thoughts. So, choose your input carefully. Listen to motivational podcasts. Read good books. Spend time with supportive, positive people. If you give your brain good input, it will give you better output. Knowing all of these things is great. But knowing is not enough. You must practice. Changing your thinking is a skill, just like learning to play the piano or learning English. It takes regular effort. Repetition is one of the best tools for growth. Practice makes progress. So, here are some daily brain habits you can start. Daily habit 1, learn one new idea a day. It doesn't have to be big. Read an interesting article, listen to a podcast, or watch an educational video. Learning something new keeps your brain active and curious. Daily habit 2, think of one positive thought before bed. Before you go to sleep, think of one good thing that happened during your day, no matter how small. This trains your brain to focus on the good. Daily habit 3, one mistake equals one learning. When you make a mistake, especially in English, don't say "I'm terrible." Say, "Great. Now I know what to improve." This turns every mistake into a victory. Daily habit 4, repeat a short affirmation every day. Choose a short, positive sentence that makes you feel confident. Something like, "I can learn, I can grow, I can think in new ways." Say it to yourself in the mirror every morning. This trains your brain to believe it. I want to end with a short story about a girl named Amina. Amina always believed she was not smart. When her teacher gave her a difficult math problem, her first thought was always, "I can't do this." But her teacher gave her a new thought to practice. Every day, she had to write down, "I am still learning, and I can improve." At first, it felt strange. But she kept doing it. And slowly, her thinking started to change. She started to try the difficult problems. She made mistakes, but she kept trying. And eventually, she started to solve them. She trained her brain to think differently. As her teacher said, you didn't need a new brain. You just needed new thoughts. We have reached the end of our episode. The main message I want you to take with you today is this: your brain is not fixed. It can grow, it can improve, it can learn new ways of thinking. You are not a prisoner of your past thinking. You are the creator of your new thinking. The journey starts with one simple step: you must think about your thinking. Notice your mental habits. And then, choose to build better ones. So, I have 2 questions for you. What is one thought you want to change today? And how will you train your brain tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me today at English Listening and Speaking Practice. I'm Tommy. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep thinking in new and wonderful ways.